Hey guys, Mr. P. In this video, we're going to talk about what ecology is as a science or as a discipline of biology, and we're also going to talk about how biology is organized, what the ecological organization hierarchy is, and how that can help us understand the world around us. So, jumping in, ecology is, at its definition, the scientific study of interactions among organisms, populations, and communities, and their interactions with the environment. So not only are we talking about within the field of biology and ecology, specifically we're talking about living organisms, but we're also talking about the interactions those living organisms have with their environment, and that includes non-living things within their environment as well. Most of the work, if not all of the work, that the ecologists do in this area of science is within the boundary of the biosphere. The biosphere includes all part of Earth in which life exists. And if you were to break that word down, bio is the prefix for life, and sphere obviously means ball, three-dimensional round circle, and so that is the life ball, right? That is the Earth. That is where we know life exists in our planet, and life takes a variety of different forms. Life can be as little as simple single-celled eukaryotes and prokaryotes like bacteria, and life can be all the way into the realm of plants and animals, which are multicellular organisms, which we're going to talk a lot more about as the chapter progresses. So why study ecology? Well, the planet is becoming increasingly more populated with people. Cities are getting bigger. There is a higher food or a larger food demand. There is more pollution. There's more deforestation, there's more livestock being produced, and so there's a lot of human-caused environmental problems that are happening as the result of natural human population growth. And so we need to study ecology so that we can not only understand our population better and the interactions our population takes with the world and other populations of other organisms, but we also need to start kind of reflecting on what our population growth means to the planet and how we can use technology and improve technology to help facilitate a cleaner planet. Okay, and ultimately the goal is 100% renewable energy, right? Decrease the dependency of fossil fuels and get to a point where human population growth can still continue, but we can do so in a more sustained, more environmentally friendly way. Obviously, solar and wind power are two forms of renewable energy, which are going to decrease our carbon footprint. We are moving towards that direction, but obviously we're not fully there. Still a lot of dependency on fossil fuel and combustion engines. However, we are moving this way, and it is promising. Okay, so the very last thing about this video before we wrap it up is we have to look at how biology and how organismal biology and ecology is structured. And so if we were to focus on what ecology kind of focuses on, we would start here. We would draw a line and we would focus on this side of the line. The smallest level kind of studied by ecology would be the organism level, because remember that the definition of ecology was the interaction of organisms and their environment, and so it doesn't get any smaller than an organism, at least within this facet of biology, which is ecology. Okay, organisms are going to be the basic subunit of ecology. Okay, organisms, when we put them together with other organisms of the same species, it makes a population of that organism. Notice we have a single leopard frog. When we put it together with other leopard frogs, it becomes a population of those leopard frogs. We are not talking about the interaction of those frogs with the water. We're not talking about the interaction with their prey items or with their predators or the grass or the ability to maintain camouflaged conditions within their habitat. It is just the interaction of those leopard frogs together in that population, which basically means similar organisms of the same species that belong to the same species that live in the same area at the same time. Okay? When we have multiple populations of different species together in the same area at the same time, we start to get a community. Okay, a community pulls in other populations of different species that live in the same area at the same time. That could be a population of our leopard frogs. It could be a population also of dragonflies, a population of grass, a population of lily pads, a population of raccoons, all living in the same place at the same time. When we have all those different populations living in the same place at the same time, it creates a community. When we start to pull other non-living things into that same area, that same defined physical space, we enter ecosystem level. Now on this picture it says landscape. I would like you to think ecosystem. Okay, so it goes species or organism, population, community, ecosystem. Ecosystem is the same thing as community. It's still a variety of different populations living in the same place at the same time. However, it starts to, for the first time, bring in the interactions with the physical environment, which are non-living components, which we call abiotic, and we're going to focus on those in a future video. Okay? The biosphere would be the biggest, as we've already determined. Okay, that is the life ball, that is Earth, that is our big kind of defined area. Obviously, life at this point can't extend beyond our planet. But before we get to biosphere, these ecosystems are going to be combined into different defined areas based on their latitude, called biomes, and those biomes are a group of ecosystems that share similar climates and typical organisms because it's based on the ambient average temperature, the average amount of precipitation. Again, we're going to focus on what biomes are in a future video as well. I just wanted to kind of start off this year with a discussion of these ecological levels, all the way from organism to biosphere. Okay, biosphere obviously being the entire planet with all the organisms and physical environments. But when we talk about biology, there are a bunch of levels that help make up organisms that we don't want to forget about. And so we can't talk about ecological organization without going beyond the level of the organism, which gets all the way down to our subatomic particles. So I like to kind of extend this talk to subatomic particles, which is what all of the molecules that make up the cells that make up the organisms are made of. So if we drop all the way down to our lowest level, that would be the subatomic particles. Subatomic particles obviously consist of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Those make up individual atoms. Those atoms come together to make molecules, which is a variety of atoms that come together and bond together in order to produce molecules and compounds like water, methane, and carbon dioxide. Those molecules are going to come together to produce organic molecules, which are bigger molecules. You can obviously see they go from like these 3 or 2 ball structures all the way to thousands of individual atoms that come together or combined in unique amounts in order to make these organic molecules. These organic molecules come together to make cells. Cells come together to make tissues. Tissues come together to make specific organs. Organs work and coordinate together to make organ systems like the cardiovascular system, the circulatory system, the reproductive system, the endocrine system. All of those systems interact to produce the whole organism, and now we are back to our base level of this ecological organization, which we talked about right at the beginning. So that's all we have for this particular video, and there will be videos in the future. Okay, we're going to extend this talk. If you learned something, give it a thumbs up. Okay, maybe consider subscribing to the channel so it's easier for you to get the videos. See ya.